Good signs your house will sell. You know, you've just put that property on the market and you're wondering in your mind, just when can I expect to have a closing? Hi, I'm Paul R. Atkinson, and in this talk today, we're going to talk about some of the good signs that will tell you whether or not your house will be selling fast or slow. Remember, in the description, you want to click on the link that's going to help you to be more successful in your business and to be able to sell that property in a timely manner. The time has to do with how fast or how slow you want to sell that property. So let's talk about it. What are some of the good signs that you can tell whether or not this property is going to be sold in a timely manner? And remember, the timing is all about you as a seller. If you're a listing agent, well, you want to consider the timing for that seller. Staging is one of the things that you want to think about firsthand. Staging. How does the property present itself to the buyer? I'm talking about pulling up on a property and you're seeing that curb appeal. You're seeing the landscape in good order, being watered and treated. You're seeing the shrubs, just everything, just this look on the block that you know that you're about to see a beautiful home on the inside. Because you see, perception becomes one's own reality. So if someone sees you or a product, in this case, you're listing a house and you have a house that you want to sell, it's a product. Well, you want to present it right from the beginning, right from the onset. So the curb appeal should be something you should consider first. How will it show when someone shows up to your property? Now, as they enter the door and come into the house to view it, what are they feeling? You know, what's the smell? Think about the smell. Think about all the senses here, right? You don't want to overkill it, but you definitely want a home that's, it smells pretty normal in here, or a neutral. How about a neutral smell? Think about that. And then to the eyes, there is no clutter. You know, sometimes we go on listing appointments and we have to tell the sellers that they need to declutter. And you have to be so careful the way you say it because you don't want to offend anyone. But you need to have the ability to talk with that seller, or if you're a seller watching this yourself, just think about it. Decluttering means that you're minimizing the things around the space. So staging from outside onto the inside of the property is very important. So decluttering is you taking away some of the things that you might not necessarily need at the moment. As a matter of fact, me personally, I like to tell my sellers that the family portraits and the big artwork with the family members, I would recommend that you take that down just to not tap into the emotions of the buyer. Let them feel as if they can see themselves there. It's a psychological thing, in my opinion. So declutter, right? You want to make sure that the beds are always made. You know, these things are simple, but yet they are not really looked into. So these are some really good signs of whether or not your house will be selling fast or slow. Some of the other things that you should consider is pricing. So pricing, to me, the seller has a lot to do with that because it's their property. I don't go into a listing appointment telling the sellers what they should list it for. I partner with them and I explain to them that, hey, look, you know, this is the highest sale in the community. And from there, that sets the benchmark. Now let's look at the comparisons, right? Here's the highest sale. You have this type of kitchen compared to this. You have this kind of bathroom compared to this. And we go on and on and on, and we work our way down. So here's a good way to put this, right? To know whether your house is going to be selling fast or not when it comes to pricing. The highest sale is the benchmark. So are you equal to that highest sale? lower than that highest sale or above? Think about it. Because that gives the speed of your money, right? Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, it's very important that you recognize that. And if you're a listing agent, you should be able to communicate that with the sellers to let them know that in order for the house to sell in a timely manner, and the timing has to be with what they want to see, it must be coherent to the marketplace itself. So the simple way to do that is just to do the subtraction. So if, for example, let's run some numbers, get a pen and paper. Let's say you look at the property, right? And the highest sale that's comparable with square footage and number of bedrooms and all that stuff is like 700,000. And when you look at the pictures of this subject that was sold, right, for 700,000 closed, you could see that that particular product or that particular home that sold for 700,000, granite countertop, quartz countertop, it was like the kitchen was phenomenal. Well, how does that compare to your subject, to what you're bringing to the market? Do you have equal to, less than, or greater than? You see the gauge there? It's all common sense. So you need to know that. Here's one final thing that's going to determine whether or not your house will sell fast or slow. It is your ability to show and give access to the property. So if you're a listing agent, are you taking the calls? Are you paying attention? Are you getting feedback to the people that are inquiring about it? If you're a for sale by owner person and you're watching this video and you're a seller, right? Here's a little tip for you. You've got to be able to give access. You've got to give access. And if you're not there to let someone in to see the home, you could lose. I mean, so many times I work with sellers and they're not given the access and we're losing the opportunity. And they could feel it. They could feel it too because somebody calls up and they're like, hey, I'm going to do cash offer and I'm in town just for this day. And, maybe they are, maybe they like it, maybe they won't. But the opportunity is there. It's like going fishing, right? It's like going fishing. You have your pole and you have no shrimp or squid. You have no bait. So you can't get that hook in the water. You see, you've got to have access. That's one of the main things I want to tell you about it. So let's wrap this up. We talked about staging as being one of them. We talked about pricing as being one of them. And we talked about access. Those three things, very important to determine whether or not there are good signs that your house will sell. Once again, it's Paul R. Atkinson, and I am so delighted to be here with you. Remember, in the description below, you want to click on the link that's going to give you all the tools that you need to be successful at what you're doing, selling houses, obviously, and give this talk a thumbs up and comment and just tell us, what do you think about this? Are there other things that you see that could be a benefit to all of us here in the community? I'm so delighted to be here, and once again, thank you for listening. I look forward and watching if you're watching. And remember, let's go get 'em, Tiger. I'll see you real soon.